Control, jealousy, selfishness, and silence destroy even the strongest relationships. The year 2025 brings strong changes to the personal lives of many couples. Under the influence of astrological factors, Aries, Cancer, Leo, or Virgo are at risk of divorce. But don't panic. Divorce is not inevitable, but a warning that can be used to your advantage. Knowing about upcoming problems gives a powerful advantage. By understanding the influence of planets and the hidden reasons for disagreements, you can prevent a crisis, restore trust, and even take your relationship to a new level. Are you ready to look at specific reasons, real-life scenarios, and precise advice for each sign? Then, brace yourself. 2025 will mark the beginning of the most radiant chapter of your life. Comment "I'm ready" below to get support from the stars. Don't miss out on the important details. Watch the story till the end. Aries. An explosive war for independence. What happens in 2025? Aries faces the powerful influence of Mars, which activates the house of separation and karmic debts. The atmosphere in relationships is heating up. Minor disputes are growing into real emotional storms. Jealousy, control, and lack of restraint become triggers for conflicts. Aries do not tolerate pressure, but the paradox is that they are the ones who provoke the crisis without noticing it. The feeling that the partner deprives them of freedom or does not appreciate them pushes them to impulsive decisions. Those who once hid their mistakes or betrayals are faced with the harsh truth. The secret becomes clear. Real divorce scenarios among Aries. Life does not give Aries time to think. Events unfold rapidly. The partner gets tired of constant control and presents an ultimatum, either trust or breakup. A sudden revelation of infidelity leads to an instant breakup. One casual glance at the phone screen, and it is no longer possible to save the family. Aries tolerates discontent for a long time, accumulates irritation, but at one moment throws everything out. The decision to divorce is made at the peak of emotions, leaving the partner in shock from the abruptness and irreversibility of what is happening. How to avoid a breakup? Mars requires Aries to take control of their aggression. Any attempt to put pressure on the partner will only speed up the breakup. In 2025, flirting is especially dangerous. Even innocent correspondence can lead to catastrophic consequences. The main thing is to learn trust and patience. Working on emotional intelligence will help you avoid unnecessary quarrels and rebuild relationships to a new level, maintaining passion, but without destructive energy. Cancer. The collapse of the ideal family nest. What happens in 2025? The moon, the ruler of Cancer, enters into a harsh disharmony with Pluto, creating tension in the family home. Any relationship built on illusions, dependency, or habit goes through a destructive test. The home comfort that Cancer has so carefully created is under threat. The partner becomes distant, cold, and the usual signs of attention disappear. Attempts to maintain the marriage with care and sacrifice give the opposite effect. The loved one becomes irritated and demands personal space. Financial instability adds fuel to the fire. If problems were previously solved by joint efforts, now everyone is trying to save themselves alone. Tension, discontent, and fear of the future appear in the relationship, which Cancer cannot stand, but hides inside himself instead of speaking openly. Real divorce scenarios among Cancers. Sacrifice and patience no longer work. Cancer suffers silently, closes in on itself, waits for the partner to guess about its experiences. But there are no guesses, only irritation and fatigue. The breakup happens unexpectedly for those around him, but not for Cancer himself. Tired of waiting for attention and warmth, he makes a decision silently and leaves, leaving no chance for reconciliation. The partner experiences pressure due to constant care. Any attempts to control, care, impose your opinion cause fatigue and a desire to run away. How to avoid a breakup? The moon demands honesty and open dialogue. Hiding inside yourself is a dangerous path to loneliness. If there is anxiety or discontent, it needs to be voiced. Control and jealousy destroy marriage. The more Cancer tries to hold on, the more the partner moves away. The main thing is to regain your independence. Family is important, but it should not be the only meaning of life and nothing else. When Cancer begins to develop, fill his life with new meanings. The partner shows interest and returns lost feelings. Leo, king in exile. What happens in 2025? The Sun, Leo's ruler, enters a tense aspect with retrograde Saturn, and this destroys the usual balance in the relationship. The partner no longer admires, does not show emotions, does not support, and this becomes a blow to Leo's pride. Any attempt to regain attention leads to irritation on the part of the loved one. When Leo showers with compliments, demands recognition, makes scenes, the partner responds with coldness or fatigue. For the first time, Leo feels invisible, and this drives him crazy. Career changes only increase the feeling of instability. If Leo used to be the main breadwinner or leader in the family, now the situation changes. The partner begins to earn more, shows independence, and this hits the ego. Family quarrels flare up around money, status, power in the couple. Real divorce scenarios among Leos. The feeling of being underestimated and devalued turns every conversation into a hidden battle. Leo gets irritated by the lack of attention, and the partner gets tired of constant complaints. The usual phrase, "you don't love me anymore," escalates into a conflict that can no longer be stopped. Cheating becomes a way to fill the void. If the partner does not admire Leo, then someone else will be found. But if the cheating is revealed, then the breakup happens instantly and irrevocably. The partner achieves success, becomes independent, and Leo feels unnecessary. Instead of pride for the loved one, envy and irritation appear, which leads to scandals, reproaches, and emotional distance. How to avoid a breakup? The sun requires self-confidence without external confirmation. If Leo seeks recognition only in the family, then disappointment is inevitable. In 2025, the main thing is to develop inner strength and not depend on the praise of others. Closedness destroys trust. If there are difficulties, worries, fears, they need to be discussed and not wait for the partner to figure it out on his own. Attention to a loved one becomes the key to saving a marriage. If Leo stops perceiving a partner as a spectator and begins to see him as a person, the relationship reaches a new level of trust and closeness. Virgo. Criticism that destroys love. What happens in 2025? Mercury, the ruler of Virgo, enters into a tough conflict with Neptune, and the boundaries of reality begin to blur. A feeling of mistrust, anxiety, and constant control appears in the relationship. Virgo notices the slightest changes in the partner's behavior and analyzes them into detail, finding hidden motives and non-existent threats. Financial issues become the main trigger for quarrels. If money slips through their fingers, Virgo loses the sense of stability and shifts the anxiety onto their partner. Instead of support, pressure arises in the couple. Constant discussions of expenses and plans develop into conflicts. Control is intensified to the limit. Virgo does not believe promises, checks messages, evaluates intonations in the voice, analyzes every little thing. The partner feels like he is in a cage where every step is subject to criticism. If the conversation turns into an interrogation, then even the strongest relationships crack. How to avoid a breakup? Mercury requires moderation and analysis. If Virgo sees only shortcomings, the relationship is doomed. Focusing on the partner's strengths helps restore balance and restore trust. Freedom is needed even in strong unions. The more Virgo controls, the faster the partner begins to look for a way out. Weakening control makes the relationship easier and more harmonious. Open conversation replaces anxious guesswork. If Virgo honestly voices their fears rather than building scenarios in their head, the tension goes away and the marriage becomes stronger. What to do if you are one of these signs? Forewarned is forearmed. 2025 brings trials in personal life, but does not put an end to love. Aries, Cancer, Leo, and Virgo are at risk of divorce, but this is not a sentence. It is a chance to recognize weaknesses and change the situation. Astrology does not simply predict events, but gives keys to their understanding. Planets create a background, but do not control fate. A conscious approach to the crisis helps save a marriage if feelings are still alive. How to maintain a relationship in 2025? Control, jealousy, selfishness, and silence destroy even the strongest unions. Conversation, trust, and freedom give the relationship a chance to reach a new level. Aries learns to restrain impulsiveness. Cancer refuses to sacrifice for the sake of love. Leo develops self-confidence without external confirmation. And Virgo stops analyzing and begins to feel. If a crisis is inevitable, it is important to live through it consciously. Divorce is not always a defeat, but a new starting point if the relationship has outlived its usefulness. The main thing is to get out of the crisis with minimal losses, maintaining respect for yourself and your partner.